Happy Sunday to you. This is Cork. I'm videoing this because Tree Knock just went off. I just cooked some breakfast on my little oven here. Last night's coals left over, started it back up. I'll show you. I'll show you breakfast. Nice little onion and cheese omelet. Yeah, it's gonna be tasty. So yeah, I just pulled the food off, and as soon as I covered it up, a huge tree knock came from the far side of that field up there, and it was just massive. It was just so loud. Okay, a summary of last night. So I had people over, and Harold came over, Joe came over, just the three of us. They had a block party downtown, and some local brewery, and they had multiple live bands playing last night, and it was just real disturbing because we couldn't do much up here, even though we had some rocks thrown, but they were stirred up. They were not happy. They weren't not in a friendly mood. They didn't know what to expect because all this loud noise echoing through the canyon, the ravine. And so, long story short, I think they finally quit playing around 11 o'clock last night. And my timeline could be off, I'm not sure. But I went Facebook Live. Sorry, brain fart. That's Lime. So, okay, after the band quit playing, and things started to calm down, quiet down in the woods. You could hear the tree frogs, and I would say it was probably 20 minutes. The tree frogs kind of like stopped on the one side of the woods, and then my lights were going off. They were starting to move around. They were moving around up on the top and down below us a lot, but they weren't sitting like in one area like they normally do. So one of the things I also did, as you've seen in the earlier video that I posted on Facebook Live, I left a bag of peanuts up in somewhere, I think right up in there. So I haven't gone to check on the peanuts yet, but on the cistern, which is in between the trees right there, that's part of it. You can see the opening of it. I threw some peanuts inside the cistern, and I laid a brick up on top, which you can barely see, and I put a couple handfuls of the Planters peanuts up there, and that was a big success. The little people came in, and they were just having a ball eating those peanuts. And unfortunately, I don't have any flare to watch them, so we did eye shine. We shined our lights up there, and they were just swinging from side to side. They were so happy, and they allowed us to view them. They didn't go anywhere. They just stayed up on top of that cistern and all around, jumping around off that cistern, and we just sat there and watched them. When they would look at us, we would see them with the eye shine. That's the only way we could tell they were there. Now Harold was snapping pictures left and right with his flashlight and phone, and it's so hard to do. It is just so hard to actually get good quality stuff. I really need a flare. Someone needs to let me just borrow their flare, only for about a month. But anyhow, it would really help. Excuse me, a lot of motorcycles passing through. So getting back to, we had a coon come up, and I had peanuts on my little table right there, and the mama coon, we feed her. She had 4 babies, but the babies didn't come. She probably set them free now. But the mama coon, she came up, and she didn't mind Harold or Joe, and they came right. She come right up to him, and begging for food. Joe brought some grapes. He was munching on some grapes, which were delicious. And the mama coon just loved Joe for that, so she got kind of real friendly quick. So after the coon left, she came back and forth throughout the night, but I would say right before probably the last hour we were out, it got real silent. You know, it wasn't so much tree knocks, there were screams, and we had some vocals down over the hill. And now here's what they do when they are angered. I think this is an anger response, because I noticed the last couple of years, when these creatures are irritated, they know where steel's at, okay? They collect it. I had a piece of angle iron up here. It's gone. They took it. But we heard a pipe. They all communicated last night with metal in their hand. All right, one got on the backside of the bridge on one of those steel supports and just started banging on it. Well, that triggered a response deep in the woods with metal on metal. And then another one went off down by the creek, which was a pipe. You can hear the pipe echo, and it was metal on metal. Now, these creatures are armed with metal pipes and solid pieces of iron, and I just don't understand why they communicate. It means something. So I have to say it's an angered response. So I'm sure they smelled the food I was cooking last night over the fire. But it's happened before, and I've heard it on my audio, and I just would like to know. You know, normally we have tree knocks that are wood, and throughout the night it was wood. Okay, don't get me wrong, but after later in the evening, and Harold howled a couple of times, I howled a couple of times, and they responded. And then I did a long whoop, and it responded with banging on steel. And then like I said, there was two other responses that were steel on steel coming from my woods. So I would like to figure that out. So I think that's an angered response. Trying to recall, staying up like this is, you got Lyme. It's like I don't drink, but it's like I have a hangover. You know, the next morning, it's like I'm just trying to fight through like a hangover almost. It just, Lyme disease sucks, man. It sucks real bad. But anyhow, yeah. Okay. The next series of events that took place. We had the babies, after they were done eating up there on the cistern, and running around. They worked their way behind me, and they were down on the property line. I have a light, an infrared light, motion light, that's down in the corner of the yard below the deck, and I put them there all around the perimeter, so because they move, you know, and they're so stealthy, you know, I need to be tripped. You know, I need to know, you know, when they're moving. So, especially when I'm sitting out here, I don't want them sneaking up behind me, because that's what they do. So my infrared nightlight didn't go off. They're so smart now. They know how to go around it. So they went around the infrared nightlight because they know its range. And they were halfway behind me. So let me switch. Can I switch? I don't think, yeah, I can. No, I can't. Not while I'm videoing. So, alright, so there's my yard. They were at the very edge of the yard down there. I have a ladder up, trimming some trees, but beyond that ladder. So if you went basically right where the ladder's at and gone into the woods 5 feet, okay, and we're watching them in this dark, in the middle of your screen right there. So there's a tree down there that has a Y in it, and they were behind the tree. One was there, and one was right down in there, and we were watching the eye shine, and they were the cutest things ever. I mean, it was so cool. Carol, Joe, and I, we probably sat there and just watched them watch us for I don't know, a half an hour, 35 minutes to 40 minutes maybe. You know, they kept their distance, but It was just really, really cool. Okay, I remember the timeline now. We did this first, and once the little kids left after this event, that's when they went down over the hill, and there was this huge growl from the alpha male. He was down below, and the kids went down over the hill, and that's when they grabbed steel and started banging and communicating with the steel. So that's right. But we had a really good time just watching the eye shine. So, but nothing happened until the stupid band packed up and left. But that's kind of a summary of last night. It's a beautiful day. So Harold walked down there. He came here a little bit early, and he walked down into this area where they hang out, and he found 2 small animals that were killed. All that was left was the fur, and he seen where the bottom jaw was separated from the head, where it's been ripped apart. He found 2 of them, 2 small animals down there. All that was left was the fur and the jawbone and the head. So that was pretty cool. It's beautiful out today. We got a really nice breeze going. So, but anyhow, I won't take up much of your time. That was just a summary of last night. Boy, do I need a flare. All right, guys, we'll talk to you later.